Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, good evening once again. Welcome back for today evening's session. So we have been talking for the last 25 sessions, we've been talking, and as we have progressed, we have been understanding that there is something called a life principle, which we call God, which we call consciousness, call it whatever you like, and it is important for us to be connected with that, because that is the only truth. That is what we are. Everything else is an apparatus which functions. That is what we are, and see that we said we have to be connected with that. Now, last week when we met, we said that every one of us, for that matter, is fond of secrets. We like secrets. Particularly when there is a gossip element involved. We are talking about somebody else. Such and such a thing happened to such and such a person. Very fond subject for all of us. Now, we are ready to share something told to us in that secret more easily when we are told that no, we must actually protect it. It is a secret, but please don't tell anybody. The moment the other person goes away, we want to say, you know what happened? Such and such a thing happened. That is how we are. That gossip element tingles us. Now, here we are discussing something which is called a royal secret. And we have in kingdoms and all, we have spies, and the spies' job is to bring secrets to the king. That is their job. So here is something which is called so huge, so big, that it is called a royal secret. And even the greatest of kings, the greatest of people will be enamored by this, wanting to know this secret. Particularly when we say that there is a science of understanding our life itself, which is embedded in that secret. So last week what we did, we heard up to verse 5. In the audio, we heard up to verse 5 of chapter 9. And we wanted to discuss it, but unfortunately because of some technical issue like internet, etc., and I think there was a problem with my camera, and we had to truncate it. So we will try to continue that journey today, and we will try to understand the secret in a little more detail, because we keep on hearing that we have to surrender to him, meaning that life principle, and how should we do that, why should we do that. So that's the secret we want to know. Now we all know one thing, that all the waves that we see, if you go and sit on a beach, all the waves that we see, they are in the ocean. So the ocean pervades all the waves, because when we see from the beach, all the waves that are arising, it is the ocean which is pervading. But I will want to show that with a little video, so you'll understand this a little easily. Just a second, please. Just watch the waves as they arise, and also watch the ocean. What is happening in the ocean? How the waves are arising, try to observe both of them separately. So if you observe this very clearly, what we come to know is that the ocean pervades the waves, but the ocean does not travel with the wave. If you see the wave rises, the wave grows in size, sometimes they are very small, and then they fall and they dissolve back into the ocean. The ocean surface does not follow the waves. It is, as you saw in the video, it is the function of the wind which causes a small part of that water body to grow up, create a life for itself, and fall and dissolve. The ocean by itself does not participate in the waves rising. and the waves dissolving. The ocean does not participate in that. So this we can understand when I see the video. Similarly, when we look at ornaments that are made of gold, we say that the gold pervades the ornaments. So the gold is all along in the ornament, but the gold is not the ornament. The ornament is a specific design. Similarly, when we look at it, all our names, the forms that we are, everything which is there in the universe, the human, the plant, the animal, the inanimate objects also, they are all pervaded by the Lord, the life principle, which we call as the imperishable Brahman. In how is it? There is no form. Because there is no form, it is unmanifested. Because our body, because our mind, our intellect cannot perceive it. So we can say, understand that Lord is not confined by us. The Lord is in us, but He is not confined by us. So when we look at the relationship between us and the Lord, there is definitely a relationship between us, but there is no attachment of the Lord with us, because He is always there, but He doesn't participate in anything that we do. In that respect, it is a relationless relationship. So like the waves rising, growing and dissolving back into the ocean, deep inside the ocean is calm. For example, if I were to give you now an example, I am wearing a shirt now. Now this shirt is made of cotton. So every bit of my shirt is cotton, but the cotton is not seen, because what we are seeing is the shirt. So the cotton is not confined by the shirt. It appears to be indicated by the shirt. The cotton pervades the shirt. So this, when we understand, we can understand what I am going to say now. We say that the Lord says, the God says that they are in me, which means we are in the Lord, but I am not in them, in the sense that He does not participate in everything that we do. What we do is what we do, but we can do that only because of His presence in us, but He doesn't participate in us. When we understand this a little more seriously with our own emotions, I get angry. I'm angry about something, or I'm very jealous about somebody getting something and I did not get it, or I'm greedy that I got something and I want a little more. All these are emotions that rise in me. Now, if I allow them to rise in me and allow them to die in me without my participating in them, I can also say that these emotions are in me. I am not in those emotions. So this is what we call as detachment. Let the emotions rise, let the thoughts come, but you don't participate in those which are negative, harmful and not beneficial to you. It is not growth oriented to you. Another example, if you were to look at it, we have the car. Now the car engine is not the car chassis. The car engine is not the car wheels. The car engine is not the car steering. Only when I engage the gear, the chassis, the wheel and of course the steering, the way I steer it, they move with the car, because when I engage gear, the engine now joins. So once the clutch is pressed, the engine and the rest of the car, they get separated. But yet the rest of the car cannot move without the engine, and without that car moving, I can't reach home. अगर मुझे घर जाना है, गाड़ी में ही जाना है, तो मुझे चलाना होगा और उसको engage करना होगा. This is what is the message that we understand. So the song that comes to my mind is a Kishore Da song. मैं हूँ घोड़ा, ये है गाड़ी, मेरी रिक्शा सबसे निराली, ना गोरी है ना ये काली, ओ घर तक पहुंचा देने वाली. So each of them are separate apparatuses, but they combine together with the power of the engine. So it is that which makes me move. Okay, let us understand this a little further. Now, we spoke about the ocean. In the deep ocean, there is only serenity. Everything is calm. Everything is absolutely still, deep in the ocean. If you have done scuba diving, I was fortunate to have been able to do that thanks to my daughter. When we went to Maldives, she said, Papa, we have to do it. And although I don't know to swim, I went with her. And actually that sight is so beautiful, it's so exotic. We must have seen that on movies or in screen, etc. All the exotic creatures, exotic sea creatures, they exist there. Plants, sea plants, they exist there. and there is no disturbance. It is absolutely still. It is the most peaceful place to be. So we watched a movie recently in which this scene was again depicted about how going deep into the deep sea diving is such meditative. That is how it is. So the life principle similarly, there is only peace, there is only exoticity, there is no disturbance there. But the waves that we see in the ocean are nothing but the glory of the ocean. The ocean is there because of which the waves arise. Similarly, the Lord is there because of which our own emotions, our own work, our own actions, they arise because of His presence. So He is the efficient cause of the entire world. Our world, the plant world, the animal world. So the world is His glory. But deep within His own principle, these glories do not exist. They are expressions that come and go just as the waves come and go. And those expressions are determined by me. So when we look at that, with the Lord as, my beloved, and I want to participate with the Lord and move in all the actions that I do, the song that comes to my mind is, मैं प्यार का राही हूँ तेरी जुल्फ के साए में कुछ देर ठहर जाऊं तुम एक मुसाफिर हो कब छोड़ के चल दोगे ये सोच के घबराऊं मैं प्यार का राही हूं. When we understand this in perspective, what happens? Our actions, our participation in everything that we do is with that principle. And once we finish whatever is our task, whatever it is that we are doing, we will go back and merge back with that ocean only. That is what it is. So as I said, I played up to verse 5 last time. Now I will play from verse 6 to 19 of chapter 9. And then we will take it forward from there.
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र वो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम् कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम् प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृत्स्नमवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात् न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवदासीनमसक्तं तेषु कर्मसु मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते अवजानन्ति मां मूढा मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितम् परं भावमजानन्तो मम भूतमहेश्वरम् मोघाशा मोघकर्माणो मोघज्ञानाविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रुताः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतोमुखम् अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वधाहमहमौषधम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यमहमग्निरहं हुतम् पितामहस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामहः वेद्यं पवित्रमोङ्कार ऋक्सामयजुरेव च गतिर्भर्ता प्रभुः साक्षी निवासः शरणं सुहृत् प्रभवः प्रलयस्थानं निधानं बीजमव्ययम् तपाम्यहमहं वर्षं निघृण्णाम्युत्सृजामि च अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च सदसच्चाहमर्जुन.
So we have heard this actually many times in our childhood. We must have been we must remember, we would remember this, Mata Pita Guru Devam. So here in one verse there is also a talk about, he saying that I am your father, I am your mother, I am your grandfather, I am everything that you know as what you are. In any connection that you look at it, it is all me only. So when we understand this life principle, it is the same principle which has energized the entire ancestry that we have and the ancestry that is going to come. So then where is the question of him being different in you or me or anybody else? There is no difference. Just a thought. Now we will take this forward. Like we had the understanding of what the ocean is. Now similarly, if we were to look at the wind. Now what is the wind? The wind, Vayu, it rests in space. Suddenly, if there is a fury of nature, if there is a huge activity in nature, imbalance or whatever you can call it, it becomes a storm. So the storm rises, the wind rises in storm in space. Then what happens? It moves around in space only. And then as it moves around in space, it creates destruction wherever it goes. We hear this tsunami, we hear these cyclones, etc. The way it happens. So it creates its destruction in space. Now once that is all done and it comes to calm, where does it rest? It rests back in space only. Similarly, from the same wind, if you were to look at it, I'm sitting in the balcony of my house, and then suddenly there is a nice pleasant breeze. It touches my skin. It is so pleasant. Correct? The same wind which arises from space tickles my happiness also, creates that destruction also. But after it has done whatever it has to do, where does it go? It goes back and rests in space only. So, but the space is not the wind. Wind is separate. Wind rests in space. So just like that, the life principle provides resting space for each of us, all the beings that we have. Me, the human, plant and animal, everybody. Even the inert material, those which we create. Even for that, it is the life principle which creates the resting space. After we have expressed ourselves in whatever work we do, in whatever manner we know, in whatever way we think, the whatever way we speak, after we have expressed ourselves, when we come back, where do we rest? We rest back in the principle itself. So when we look at it in that manner, the blueprint of our life is given by us. The Lord, this principle, only energizes that blueprint. So we cannot hold him responsible for the edifice that we have built. The way I have constructed my life, that will be my life. I cannot hold God responsible or the Lord responsible. It is a design given by me. Through what? My inclinations, my imprints, my vasanas. So the way I have cultivated myself from my past or from my inclinations in the present, I created something. You create something else. Somebody else will create something else. So the blueprint is given by each of us. The principle only energizes that. So the Lord is only providing you the power for my design to come to manifestation. So he, in that respect, is only an observer. He oversees what we have designed. He is not attached to any of our imprints or any of our actions. The way we function is on the basis of what we think. I will give another example in this. We all are fond of watching movies, suspense thrillers and all that we are fond of watching. Now let us imagine a situation. We are watching a movie scene, okay? Now there is a killer. Now he is trying to steal into your house in darkness and he wants to kill you. So there is utter darkness, total darkness. But he probably is wearing some lens or something. I do not want to go into that. But then he is entering in utter darkness. Now the moment you suspect that there is somebody, a burglar or somebody who is going to be a cause of danger for you, you switch off all the main switches. So there is absolute total darkness. Now suddenly the moonlight falls. Now the moonlight falls on you, he can see you. So he can see you, which means he knows where you are and he can attack you. Likewise, if the moonlight were to fall on your escape route, you have to escape from him. So if the moonlight were to fall on your escape route, you are able to escape. So the moonlight did not aid his attack, nor did it aid your escape. The moonlight itself is only a witness. It is the boss. It is the Malik, like the Shahenshah. He oversees for that killer's wickedness in the attack, or he oversees for your smartness in your escape. So that way he is just a overseer. The song that comes to my mind is अंधेरी रातों में सुनसान राहों पर एक मसीहा निकलता है जिसे लोग शहंशाह कहते हैं. So he is only that Messiah which provides the light for us to perform our own actions. So our actions, our work, what we think, what we do is all governed by the seeds of our own imprints. What is it that we have sown, only that will come. Now he does not say that I want you to sow this seed. He simply nurtures everyone, no matter who they are. So let's take an example, that in a farmland, on the soil there are different fruit trees. Like you sowed apple seeds, you sowed orange seeds, you sowed chiku seeds, you sowed avla, gooseberry, or mango, or grapes, different seeds, and then you nurtured them, you watered them, allowed the sun to come in, whatever it is. Now, can the fruits of one tree be different from the seed that was given to that tree? Can you say that the mango will give you an avla, or the avla will give you grapes, or the orange will give you apple? No, it is not possible. They all grow on the same soil, under the same sun, using the same water. So the principle is the same. The root cause which makes them different is the seed. So what is it, the seed that you provide, that is what will grow. So it is left entirely to us what seed we want to give. So we are foolish in that respect, because we do not even know that he is in us. He is the resting space for all of us. He is the guy who's taken refuge in us. He is the driving force in everything we do. He is the very life in us. We don't recognize his presence, because we are working as if we are doing whatever we are doing. It is all I doing, I thinking, I talking. That is the way we behave. So we remain tied down to our own attachments of what we think is our action, our thought, our emotion. We think like that. We are unable to untie ourselves and fly high under his inspiration, under his energy, because we are tied down by what we have created, our bonds. It is our own creation. So let us look at how we act in the world. Like for example, we all work. All of us do work in whatever field of work we are doing. We struggle. Every day is a struggle in whatever work we do, in in relationships that we have. There is a lot of struggle. And to do what? To fulfill our empty desires. I am saying empty desires. I'll come to that. Why I am talking about empty desires. What we want? I want a house. I want a second flat. I want a 3-bedroom flat. I want a 5-bedroom flat. Then I want a spouse who's devoted to me, looking after me, that kind of a thing. Then I want a position in whatever work I do. I want to be recognized. Then I want the children who will dote on me, look after me when I am old, or on whom I can dote when they are young. I want cars, 3 cars. I want a Mercedes. I want a BMW. I want my health to be great. These are all I want. Now any of these, when you look at it, they can vanish at the slightest difficulty or crisis. For example, suddenly you are hospitalized and your insurance is, let's say, 10 lakhs. Your hospital bill goes to, let's say, 40 lakhs. 30 lakhs is gone out of your savings. You have to look after your health. You say that no, my son will look after me in old age. Son says, no, I want to go and settle down in America. You are here in India. What will you do? So at any of those slightest instances, these what we think of as our attachments, they simply vanish like that. So we are attached not to lose those which We are most likely to lose. And vainly we think that these are permanent. We think it is permanent till we lose them. Till the 30 lakhs goes, that 30 lakhs was mine. Till my son goes to America, the son will look after me. So that is not the case at all. So similarly, when we look at our knowledge also, whatever it is that we have knowledge, in whatever field that we have, that also changes with the evolution. As the world changes, as mankind changes, our knowledge also is evolving, it is dynamic. So we are holding on to our limited knowledge. That is also vanity, because knowledge is a dynamic thing. It just keeps on evolving, it keeps on going to us. But His presence in us, through all this, through our attachment, through the viraha of that money going or the sun going, through this knowledge evolution, etc., which is happening, His presence in us is permanent. So what is it that we need to develop? We need to develop faith which is firm in us, because we will know that we will rise high in everything that we do. We will have all these glories, all of these will be there, yet we will not be attached to them. Because when we know that it is from Him that I have emerged, and whatever work I am doing, it is all happening in His presence only, and when I go back or when I rest, I am resting in Him only. Though when I know that, then there is no attachment, because we will be firm that in whatever work I do, whatever seeds I sow, the fruits will be the way I want them, because it is what I have sown. So when we look at that in the perspective of love, like for example, I say I love my parent, I love my spouse, I love my child, I love my friend, I love all of them. Now when we say I love, what we mean is that our love is so strong that we gravitate towards that person. Like for example, I say I worship my father. When I worship my father, my mind gravitates towards my father. In terms of whatever work I do, I will start thinking of him. For example, I say I love my spouse. In everything that I do, whatever I buy, whatever I do, I will say that I want to keep my spouse happy, or my child happy, or my friend happy. So these are all things the way what we do in love. But all of these are subject to our opinion about their qualities, because we have some opinion about each of them. For example, my father does something which I don't like, suddenly there will be a change in my love equation. My son says something which I do not approve of, there will be a change in the love equation. So depending on my own opinion about the qualities I perceive in my loved one, I start changing. My definition of love, or maybe my understanding of love, changes. So if I were to look at that, these are finite. They are very finite. A Jagjit Singh song comes to my mind. प्यार मुझसे जो किया तुमने तो क्या पाओगी, मेरे हालात की आंधी में बिखर जाओगी. So in the circumstances of what our loved one is, we ourselves undergo a turmoil. Our mind is, because our mind is always gravitating towards the one we love. But if we cultivate that love for that principle, for that Lord who is in us, if we love Him, our mind automatically gravitates to His glory and His presence in us always. Because when we know that, we also know that the same principle is there in my loved ones also, no matter who they are, my friend, my parent, my child, my spouse. In all of them, it is the same principle. So this I understand. The qualitative differences are not so important. I will be able to handle them. So then my work will always be an expression of His divinity through my actions. That is the way we can understand this. Some of us are, very focused on getting more and more knowledge. We want to understand more. For example, in the talk sessions that that are going on now, all of us, we want intellectual satisfaction. In knowledge that comes to us, we want some sort of buddhi vilas, they call it in Hindi. It's just a development of our intellect. But actually, if you look at it, very few of us focus on analyzing that knowledge within ourselves. It's like information gathering, but how many of us actually analyze that knowledge? And once we have analyzed, how many of us are actually putting that to use for our own self-transformation? Why self-transformation? Because we have to become cultured. and we have to be working for the benefit of others, because when we start working for the benefit of others, it is our benefit too, because that is our benefit. So for many people, the knowledge is only some information for intellectual arguments with no use for personal unfoldment. Only those who are cultured by understanding, analyzing and assimilating it within themselves, they are the ones who are able to discriminate this knowledge, whatever they acquire, and then they will be smiling within themselves. Because whenever they are working, no matter how stressful the situation is, no matter what kind of a problem they are facing, they will be absolutely smiling, because within themselves they will be smiling, and you will see their smile even while they are working, even in the most stressful of situations. So this is the quality that we need to talk about developing. Now let us understand an example. Rivers. Rivers are not complete unless they go and merge into the ocean. They originate from rain. Rain goes into a reservoir, the reservoir or wherever it is coming from a mountain or something, it flows down from various mountains, comes to the plains, and it provides water, nourishment, everything. But finally it goes and merges into the ocean. Till then, all those things that it is doing, it is a play of the river to make merry for the river itself and to please others who are around it, because it is providing nourishment to a lot of those. But its inner nature, if you look at it, of any river, is to merge with the ocean. Similarly, our inner nature is to merge with the Lord in all our actions. Merge with the Lord, not like after you are dead. Merge with the Lord in all our actions, in all our thoughts. Our expressions will be different. My expression will be different because my imprints, my inclinations, my vasanas, they are different. So my expression will be different, your expression will be different, because they are only expressions, are only in the pathway. You will do what you like, the way you think, you will do it. I will do the way I like, the way I think, I will do it. For each of us, it is only a pathway. Ultimately, where do we have to rest? We have to rest with the Lord only. So that is what we need to keep in mind. So when we now look at this life principle with these similes, with these understanding, with these examples, the life principle just simply stands alone. Because it is the Om principle. You can call it Paramatman, you call it Supreme Godhead. Different people use different names. Ultimately it is names, because you need, in language of communication, you need names to identify something. So these are names. When that principle is expressing through the total mind, which means all our minds put together, when that principle is expressing, when through all our imprints, all our inclinations, when that is expressing itself, we call that God. We call that Ishvara. When it is expressing through all of us, because as I said, if you remember the last time, each of us are living in a private world. Collectively, that is the total world. Now in the total world, everything is expressed because that principle is energizing it. So the collective expression of all of us together is Ishvara, the God. So we need a name or a form to identify. You call Krishna, I call Rama, somebody calls Allah, somebody calls Jesus, somebody calls Nanak, somebody calls the fire, like the fire god, or Zarathustra. Call it by whatever your name you like. It is for our convenience only we are giving names and forms. Ultimately, that principle stands alone. When that principle expresses through our mind and our intellect, it is a personality that we know. So when it is expressing through me, through my mind, through my intellect, you know me as Mr. Suresh. When it is expressing through you, you will know yourself as Mr. Kumar, Mr. Narayan Swami, Mrs. Rajni, whatever it is. So the names and forms are different. It is nothing but the expression of the Lord in the way our mind, our intellect perceives and performs. That is all there is. I'll just explain that with a slide. Thanks, Chitapa. So we had this. Now let us understand this. Now when we look at this Om principle now, it is a stand-alone. When we say that I am reaching Godhead, I am reaching the highest principle, I am reaching that, it is a standalone. You are reaching that standalone principle. But when you look at our knowledge about how we are expressing ourselves, it is expressed through different methods. So for some of us it is comprehension, some of us are erudite in the way we express, some are familiar, when I hear it, it is very familiar for me. Some are wise, they are able to analyze and understand everything. Some are experts, some have insights, some are motivated. So it is, for some people it is just a notion. Because I have heard many years ago, I was at that time going to certain banks for loan syndication, etc. So one very senior official in a bank, he said, God is a concept. At that time I was too young to understand what it was, and I said, okay, yes sir, because he was senior and I had gone to him for work. I said, yes sir. But today when I look at that sentence itself, for some people it is a concept, because they identify that as the principle, and so the word that they used is a concept. Be it what you like, it is that non-dual principle. Non-dual principle meaning the same principle is there with you, with me, with somebody else, with everybody. It is the same principle. So then there is no second, there is no second. It is only one. And that one is expressing differently through all of us in the way we have developed our inclinations, we have developed our imprints, we have developed our vasanas, the way we have our mind, the way our intellect works. It is that which is expressing through that principle. That is what it is that we need to understand. So in the world of objective things, for example, computer, laptop, chair, my shirt, objective things. In the world of objective things, we get the knowledge of things, beings, etc. And in the world of spirituality, this pure knowledge that we are talking about is the knowledge to be known. So in our mind, it is the mind which projects each experience for us. For example, I am now talking to you. As I am talking to you, there is something which is going on in my mind, because there is a build-up of language, there is a build-up of thoughts which is coming through. So in my mind there is a flurry of activity, and that is projecting in the way I speak to you. Now in the same way, if I was sleeping and I had a dream, in the dream I said, oh, that killer is coming, he is going to come and kill me. Oh, that moonlight is now showing me, oh, he has seen me, I can't escape, I am trying to escape, but my escape route is closed, and then he comes in, he is about to stab me, and I try to escape, and suddenly I fall down from the bed. I wake up and see that I am still in my bedroom, I have fallen off from the bed, and there is no killer, there is no darkness, there is no moonlight, nothing. I am in my bedroom, I was sleeping and I dreamt. So where did all these expressions come about? All of them happened in my mind. It is in my mind that, subconscious though it may be, it is in my mind that all these expressions came about. And the moment I was awake, all of these expressions, all of these experiences, all of these projections, they simply ceased. So similarly, when we look at it, the entire experience of the objective world that we know is the projection of our mind. Now the moment I realize that they are nothing but his expressions through me, they collapse. Because till then it is that identification that I am doing it, I am doing it, I am doing it. But the moment I realize that it is his expression through me, this entire projection business itself is collapsing. Now we all have this, Marwadi businessmen. We are very familiar with that. Marwadi businessmen, they have their sons who become major, 21, 22, 23. They start looking after their business. So they go to the shop, whatever is the business, they go to the shop, they can buy, they can sell everything. But the money, the treasure key, which includes the signing power of the checks, is kept with the father only, or the grandfather also sometimes. Till his death, he is the person who manages it. So for them, they will be able to understand this expression better. For them, the money string is the ultimate. I mean, I have experienced this because I've got a lot of Marwadi friends also have experienced this. The money string is the ultimate. When the son is probably till he's 35, sometimes even 40, it is the father who's controlling. टिंग डोंग टिंग डोंग टिंग टिंग, पैसे का डोर तो मेरे हाथ में है. That is the way it is going on. So it is money for them which is big. Na bibi na bacha na baap bada na maiya. The whole thing is that ke bhaiya sabse bada rupaiya. That is the way it is. Now he is the one who will hold it in control. When you look at it that way, it is the Lord. It is that principle who is the controller of our life. But what is it that we are providing? We are providing our effort with our thoughts, with our intellect, with our imprints, our tendencies. We are the ones who are providing that. He is like the sun. He is the radiance of the sun. He simply provides the light. He is the one who says that if I want to withhold my energy, like holding the money strings, I can withhold the energy of the water which is released in rain, because ultimately with that principle is not working. How will the ocean water become vapor and then the vapor given become rain? So we are the ones who spoil the atmosphere by our own actions in the world, and we create eco-unsensitive action. If we plunder, our actions will be harmful to us and to the world around us. So I will now play verse 20 to 34. As I said, I am trying to cover some technical chapters in one sitting. So this, sorry, why is this not coming? Technical chapters I am trying to cover it in one sitting so that they don't become too complicated. So I am now playing 20 to 34, which is towards the end of chapter 9. So please bear with me. These audios are long because I am compressing everything into one session.
त्रैविद्यामां सोमपाः पूतपापा यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाध्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देवभोगान् ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च वन्दिते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन्यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्या यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य येऽपि स्युः पापयोनयः स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्रास्तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्या भक्ता राजश्रयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकमिमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजीवां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि युक्त्वैव मात्मानं मत्परायणः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे राजविद्या राजगुह्ययोगो नाम नवमोऽध्यायः.
So we'll take this forward now. Now, having understood this idea that when we have to work, we have to have this vision that it is His expression which is happening through us. When we understand this, when we work with this kind of a divine vision, and what are we doing? We are doing all this for fulfilling our desires in this world. So our work will yield results exactly as per our efforts. So first we remember that whatever it is, remember meaning realize within ourselves at every moment of work that it is His expression which is happening through us. Once we understand that, whatever work that we do, the kind of thinking, the kind of mental participation, kind of physical effort that we bring in, the effort will be exactly as per, the result will be exactly as per our effort. Now we are all participating in this weekly session, weekly webinar, everybody is there. Now can we say that the result in the mind for each one of you and each for me also is the same? Depending on the mental association that each of us have with the sessions, our result will be different in each mind. Somebody will understand with a lot of depth, somebody will understand with a superficial, somebody will say I am not able to comprehend language. So the way our mind is associating with the session, my result will be exactly similar to that. So when we look at it that way, whatever desires that I have cultivated and whatever results that come out of that desires, when they are greatly wonderful desires that are fulfilled, how long will I be able to enjoy these? And after enjoying this, what happens? I enjoy this, whatever is a desire, and then what happens? Now let us understand this a little differently. As long as my resources last, as long as my resources are available, I'll be able to enjoy them. Now for example, we are all going to holidays. We go to different holidays. Now everything is opened up. Somebody will go to Europe, somebody will go to America, somebody will go to Northeast, wherever. All of us will go to holidays. Destination will be different. Hotels will be different. The kind of amenities we choose in those hotels will be different, because that depends entirely on how much I have in my pocket. I cannot go to a 7-star hotel, I will go to 3-star, 4-star hotel, whatever it is. So the money that is available with me will determine where I go and where I go and stay, what I will spend. Now once my time for that vacation, I have identified 7 days, maybe 8 days, maybe 9 days, like that. Once my time has ended or my pocket is empty, I had budgeted 30,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees are over, my pocket is khali. We come back to our working life, we work again, we earn again, and look at going on a holiday next year. This is how it is. Similarly, when our desires are fulfilled, whatever desires are there, we say in this world, we go to heaven. So the heaven is holiday. The heaven is whatever is my desire. So we go there as per our desires, and then we return to work again. If I take this analogy to the physical death itself, depending on whatever it is that we have done, depending on the way we have worked, on that basis we will go to heaven of our choice. And in that heaven we say that no, I want to have 20 apsaras dancing around me, and I want Madira to be poured into this, and I should have open sky, I should have fruits whenever I like. All that, you will enjoy all that. Come back and work again, because your enjoyment of those desires are over. You will come back because you did not aspire for a higher reality. You aspired for those desires only, and you worked for that and you got them. But You did not take yourself to the next part of the journey. So you will come back, work again, so that you go to the next part of the journey. Slowly, this is what will happen. A song that comes to my mind is a Mukesh song. लौट के आ, लौट के आ, लौट के आ, लौट के आजा मेरे मीत, तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं, मेरा सुना पड़ा रे संगीत, तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं. Because those things that you have left undone, those things which are unfulfilled desires, you will come back. You will come back to meet them again. So we have this impression in our mind that we seem to be thinking that we are managing our work, we are managing our family, we are managing our problems. This is our thinking, no? I am doing it, I am doing it. But what the Lord says is that He says that you just become one with me. You become one with me in everything you do, in every thought, in every emotion, every action, everything. Just identify me. See that it is my expression happening through you. Once you do that, I will take care of all your possessions. I will secure whatever you have. I'll ensure that whatever gain you want is also available to you. Because in the world, when we look at how we work for two things: yoga, kshema. Yoga or kshema. Yoga means I want to acquire whatever it is. Sometimes, many of the times, it is acquiring possessions, material possessions. Only realized ones say that I want knowledge. So yoga. Kshema meaning whatever from yoga I got, it must remain with me. Kshema, it must remain kshema. That is what I want. So my entire working life, if I look at it, it is for yoga, getting what I want, kshema, preserving what I have. This is what it is. He says, forget it. You just identify me everywhere. Looking after your yoga kshema is my job. Believe in me. So many of us follow other centers of power. For example, I am fond of money, I will run after money. You are fond of maybe art, you will run after art. Somebody is fond of music, they will run after music. So depending on the center of power of each of us for satisfying our desires, we run after that. So in the same principle, if you look at it, there are atheists who don't believe in God. And then there are followers of other religions. There are followers of material pleasures like, art, music, money, everything, women. So unknowingly, all of them don't realize, unknowingly, they are also following the life principle only. They don't know. Because ultimately, the principle which is energizing all of them, for everybody, is the same one. How will I explain it? Now, if you go to a government department, there are a government office, there are different departments. Now, I want some job to be done in the government department. Let's say I want a permission for something, for constructing something or something like that. So, I have to go to the officer who is the devata of that office for me. You may have another work, you will go to some other devata because your work is different. So, I have to go to that devata and I have to invoke his blessings. Sahab, mera kaam karke do. I will give you whatever you want. Bribe, whatever it is, I will give you whatever you want. So we invoke the blessings from these heads of department there, and then even when we are invoking their blessings, their support for what we want, whose blessings are we invoking? We are invoking the blessings of the government only. So the Lord is like the government. He is the head. You matter, no matter wherever you are going, money, art, music, women, whatever it is that you are going, Christianity, Zoroastrianism, whatever it is you are following, ultimately you are only going to one source, which is the life principle in all of us. So, if you understand that, now let us take another thought. We all have heard this. We become what we think. We have heard this, isn't it? Now, our past thoughts are the ones that are governing our present actions. On the basis of my past thoughts, my experience, my understanding, my present actions are happening. So the result of our present actions is what we will become. Whatever I do in the present is what I will become. I cannot expect that I will study for chartered accountancy and I'll end up becoming an architect. Impossible. It is not going to happen. So if I develop the skill of how to steal, I have developed how to pickpocket, I have learned. I cannot end up becoming a policeman. Of course, there are a lot of policemen who are worse than pickpockets. That's a different thing. But that is the skill I have learned. So, if I remember the Lord as my energizing force in everything that I do, I will merge with the Lord in time by consistent practice. I remember I mentioned about Abhyasa Yoga. Consistent practice, I will merge with the Lord. Like for example, by practice, I learnt language. I did not know anything. Ba, A, B, that is where I started from. Then I learned grammar. Then I learned how to put them into use. So I learned language. Like that I learned arithmetic and then I learned mathematics. I learned basic science and then went and learned physics and chemistry. So over time, by practicing consistently, I will be able to remember that this is the energizing force in all of us. Then that is the one which is making everything possible. I become one with that. So how should we approach the Lord? To approach the Lord, the method is to give Him with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, whatever it is. With love and devotion, you give whatever you give. It is not material what you give. What is the material is not important, because that material that you give will return to you. Because the material he is not taking. It's not that the Shivalinga is eating away your fruit. It doesn't happen. But the love and devotion with which you go, that is how it will reach him. Like for example, in children, our small kids used to eat something, and then they say, Amma, take this banana piece, I take this, and then Amma eats the banana piece also. How? Because it is because of that love in the child. So similarly, for every action, every thought, every activity, even what I eat, if I have devotion to the Lord and give each of those to the Lord itself, He receives that with love. Remember that everything that we enjoy is made possible because of His grace only. So your offering to Him is nothing but returning that grace. So when we develop this attitude, the pressure of success or failure, the likes or dislikes to different results, will unbind us from their clutches, and we will remain happy always. So we also believe that some people get all the goodies and we don't get it. Even when we are devoted and focused in the Lord, in all that we do, we wonder, why is it that they are rascals? Why is it that they get, and why Lord thinks that I don't deserve it? Let us remember where we started this discussion from, that the life principle is present in each and every one of us. The results that we enjoy or what we suffer are because of our own thoughts, our own efforts, either present or past. Could be anything, we don't know. So even those who are born with negativities, cultivated those negativities during this life, lived a life full of negativities, when they turn their attention towards the Lord in their work in this world, they will also be rid of their negativities and they will also rise higher. So we have to learn to treat the Lord like our best friend and surrender to Him. The song that comes to my mind for closure is, तुझ पे कुर्मा मेरी जान, मेरा दिल मेरा ईमान, यारी मेरी कहती है यार पे कर दे सब कुर्बान, कुर्बानी कुर्बानी कुर्बानी, अल्लाह को प्यारी है कुर्बानी. So with that I end for today. Any questions you have, you are most welcome to ask me or share with me on WhatsApp. Send me a voice clip, whatever it is that you feel like. Most welcome. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you. All of us have a nice weekend.
Hari Om. Suresh.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Chitappa, happy to see you.